Chiki, stai. Dai giù. Oggi è che... Okay, it seems that Chiki also wants to watch Death March Club. So Chiki and I are going to react to this together, aren't we, Chiki? Chiki, glad time. Okay, so Chiki is looking at that screen. I'm looking at this one. You ready, baby? You ready? Okay. Let's go watch some teenagers killing each other. That's what it's all about, Chiki. That's what it's all about. She knows good entertainment. Well, that's some Zero Escape shit right there. I hate homework.
君たちの手首につけられたバングル、そこにイケてる文章が書かれているでしょ。
でもこれ俺の名前じゃないぞ。
いいところに気がついたね。それがこのゲームのミソなんだ。みんなのバングルに表示されているのは、ここにいる誰か、他人のノルマ。一番最初にそれを達成した人にだけご褒美が与えられる。例えば A さんのノルマが最初に達成されたら A さんにだけご褒美が。でも自分自身のノルマはわからないでしょ。だからご褒美をもらうためには自分のノルマが書かれたバングルを誰かに見せてもらわなきゃならない。もしくは無理やり奪い取るって手もあるけどね。そのバングルを持っている誰かを殺して。
Are they watching this crap?
何のテレビ番組
Well, that's what happens when you take acid on the way to watching an anime movie. Wait, I've seen that anime movie. I'm sorry, Chiki, I promise there'll be a lot of killing soon. Mwah. Well, that's an interesting art style. Fuck off, Windows. So, am I trying to kill the other people or work with them? So it's like a 2.5D platformer, okay. I can roll with that, sort of. And they've got an hour to escape from the Bioshock underwater place? Okay, we're just gonna ignore the two kids fighting with each other. It's basically Bioshock meets Abe's Odyssey meets Kill Tube 2, the Japanese movie, meets a Pokemon theme on the DS? What even is this game? And now we have like a semi-Majin Buu theme with like Monokuma's acid trip cousin? Okay. What do you think, Chiki-chan? Are you gonna play this game? You're not convinced? Mm-hmm. Who are you rooting for, Chiki-chan? See, Chiki-chan's just like, where's all the killing at? I promised her death and murder and trials and investigations and nothing. Nothing. Chiki-chan just like, what's going on? Maybe because it's 11:45 and she's 3. Chiki actually found a boyfriend today. So, yeah, that's a different story. But, I know like F all about this game. I know that Kadaka and I forgot his name, the guy that made Zero Escape, are working together on this. And I can see the influence of both. You've got the wristbands from Zero Escape, mixed up a little bit with the sort of plot design of Danganronpa, but that much is clear. I could see the underwater influence, like I said, Bioshock. I could see the 2.5D platformer. Okay, we can roll with that. But other than that, I'm just a little bit like, what is the plot? What is the premise? Obviously, we know the beginning, but are the people at the beginning going to be in this game that we're playing, or is that just for the sake of setting up the story? Because the premise seems pretty straightforward, right? You gotta complete your assignment, whatever it is, and your only way to figure out what the assignment is either for someone to willingly tell you, which means you're trading information, or, you know, you steal their bracelet, or, you know, like forcibly check everyone else's bracelet. So it's essentially the prisoner's dilemma that we spoke about in Danganronpa 2, hyped up with, you know, high school kids. So the first person to complete their assignment gets a reward. We don't know what that reward is. And everyone else, do they get a punishment or do they not get that reward? So it comes down to how the plot unravels. I mean, humans, being the way they are, they're greedy bastards. They're selfish bastards. We know that. But the real question is going to be, what are the motivations behind it? Because it's not going to be as simple as, oh, one person will get a reward. That might be enough to motivate one or two assholes in the group. But a big chunk of the other people will, at the very least during the beginning, work together. And then as soon as you add a little bit of motivation, as soon as you add a dead body, as soon as you add a murder, as soon as you add, you know, something, the survival instinct is going to kick into overdrive. And then the story is just going to go apeshit, right? Look, Windows, I'm so over it. That's usually how it happens. And that's pretty much, I don't even want to say that's a prediction. That's just, you know, standard storytelling. That's how it's going to happen. That's just human nature in a nutshell. But other than that, it's a little bit, it's weird. The art style is completely different from what I'm used to when it comes to Danganronpa and Zero Escape. That's not to say that the Zero Escape art style I liked straight off the bat. It took me a little while to get used to it. It's not to say that I enjoy the Danganronpa. I gotta be honest, I watched the Danganronpa anime first, so the art style in Danganronpa games didn't really bother me. So the art style is a bit different, if I could say that, but it's not something that's going to necessarily turn me away from the game, as long as the story and the art style kind of work together. as long as the art style fits the world that's being created, I'm cool with it. If the art style and the world just sort of clash and they don't click, then I'm going to have a problem with it. But I actually like the premise of it. It's like one of those Japanese movies or short TV series animes that I would watch, right? The premise, fair enough. I like it. I like to see a nice short story like that unfold. Is it going to be a story or a franchise that I'm going to enjoy in the long run? That's going to highly depend on how the story unfolds. But given the reputation of both Kadaka and the guy that made Zero Escape, and I know I'm going to get so much flack for not remembering the guy's name, it should be good. We're going to get a pretty interesting story, a pretty interesting ride, and then we're going to get a twist at the end, or we're going to get an ending which is going to require us to replay it in a certain way to either get the true ending or a second ending or a what-if scenario. It could very well be that, the first time you play, you get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 characters out alive, right? And then you find out that if things went differently, you could have gotten other characters out. And by getting them all out, you piece more and more of the story together, and then you sort of find out why they're in this situation, who's doing it, what the motives of the mastermind are. It's sort of, that's what's itching at the back of my mind, because I know for a fact that Kadaka and the guy that made Zero Escape, I'm getting so much flack for that, are big Saw fans. And a big thing of the Saw franchise is they only really piece together why they're in the killing game towards the end, and then they realize, without spoiling the Saw franchise, it's hard to go into it without spoiling Saw, so I'm going to start spoiling Saw a little bit now, so if you haven't watched Saw, leave now. Uno, dos, tres. Okay, I can spoil it. So when they get to the end of the Saw, game, they start realizing in some of them they could have all survived had they cooperated. I think that's a big chunk of all of them, right? In Saw 2, they could have gotten the antidote in the thing straight off the bat if they worked together. They could have gotten a bunch of the other antidotes had they worked together, but, human nature is that everyone prioritizes themselves over the group. So as a result, they got absolutely no antidotes and a bunch of them died. Saw 3, very similar thing. The guy was just in that game where it could have saved everyone. Did he save a big chunk of them? Probably not. Saw 4, and this is where it gets really blurry. 4, 5, 6 for me get really blurry because I've only watched it once or twice, and 1, 2, and 3 for me are the best ones. In a big chunk of them, all of the deaths could have been avoided had the person or persons played by the rules and thought about it a bit more logically rather than just acting on their impulses. And this is a big thing of the Saw franchise. Don't act on impulse. And you see that in Danganronpa because that's what the motivations are. If you look at Monokuma, whenever he throws a motivation or an incentive, it's impulse. Whether it's fear of, being murdered or someone else murdering you, whether it's greed in the form of 100 million yen or, 10 million US dollars, whether it's, all these motivations act on impulse. And you could say that these different motivations at different stages of the game are targeting specific people. Because, for example, the greed motive, right? Monokuma would have known that Celestia would absolutely, jump on the chance to get her hands on 10 million bucks because her lifelong dream is to have a European castle with a bunch of butlers, right? So you could very easily say that motivation is targeting her specifically to act because that is her impulse. Greed, right? Ultimate gambler, duh. You could say ultimate liar, but that's a story for a different day. So, same thing. Same thing with these motivations, right? So some of these games, if not most, are rigged for certain people to lose. As is the environment, like saying Danganronpa 1. Certain people had access to their class facilities, which give them a place to chill and give them a place to, relax. Whereas other people didn't, so they lost their shit a lot sooner. Like, a big example is Byakuya, right? He got access to the library. So, he could just sit there all day, right? He doesn't lose his mind. Whereas some people would really struggle because they would grow weaker and weaker every day because A, they don't have a place to train, such as Sakura-chan. Her dojo was only unlocked on the 4th or 5th floor towards the end of the game. And she lacked the proper training facilities, which sort of, broke her down mentally. Which, could have, in a way, impacted what happened later on in the game, right? But is that going to happen in this game? Good fucking question. Because both Kodaka and the Zero Escape creator/director have their own way of unfolding a storyline. Kodaka's very much in the Saw-esque style, where it's all about human impulse, motivation, and kill or be killed. Whereas in Zero Escape, it's a much, much, much deeper plot that relies a lot more on the use of timelines and the use of what-if scenarios. Now, Kodaka did have a what-if scenario in Danganronpa If, or IF, whatever you want to... Chiki, if you peed on my hand, I swear to God I'm sending you to the gulag. What-if scenario in the form of Danganronpa IF. Whereas Zero Escape is one big clusterfuck of if scenarios, right? I mean, literally, I didn't create the whiteboard of wisdom for absolutely nothing, right? I had to draw out the timeline for VLR. Jiki's looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm a Serbian dog, whatever. So, that's the thing. Deathmatch Club is an oddball. The art style is making it look cutesy and innocent. We know it's anything but. That's the thing. That's the thing. Now, I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted by these thumbnails, and what really sticks out to me is Ari's thick thighs. Like, what the fuck? Now that is thick. Hutchin is absolutely going to stab me, but it's got to be said. That just sticks out for me. They're just popping out there, right? That's the thing. They say in the opening of the game or the opening of a movie you can figure out the plot twist. I did figure out the plot twist to Danganronpa 2 within the first 30 minutes. Go watch part 1 of the LP, like your jaw will drop at around the 30-minute mark, as did mine when I was editing it. I think I may have sort of lined out the core story on, like level 1, whereas the twist, that TV show, and I don't know, it's very Hunger Game-ish, very Battle Royale, there's so much influence in Deathmatch. You could see the influence from so many sources, which is awesome, right? But it's hard to pinpoint what the F is going on. I mean, you can pinpoint what is going on, but you're not really pinpointing what is going on. Like, what the hell is that acid trip little anime character with the X on the eye doing, right? Like, what the F is that? Like, you don't just wake up every day and you have a floating little thing telling you to kill other people, right? Well, it doesn't say... See, it doesn't say kill. By force. By force, right? Murder. But, like, by force. Like, what happens if no one does their assignments, right? That's probably why there's a timer. Diggy, what do you think? Are we going to play this game on launch? What do you mean we're going to play the AI files? Fine, we'll play the AI files. Jiggy's just like, I'm so through of this. I want to go now. Okay. Let me know what you guys thought. I'm personally excited by the prospect of having another Danganronpa Zero Escape style game, just because I've enjoyed both so much. See, if I watched the trailer for Zero Escape, I probably wouldn't have played it. If I watched the trailer for Danganronpa, I probably would have played it. This one, I have to give the benefit of the doubt, because it's two directors who've created games that I absolutely love. It's such a troll opening. It's not really trolling, because it shows the viciousness. But the art style is so, you know. Alright. I'll see you then Well, firstly, I will see you on the weekend where we're going to play the AI files on launch, obviously. And then I'll see you guys at the Death March Club. So till then, Ninja-kuma out. Bye! And I'll catch you on the Discord.
Hey!
Hey, do robots have to... And there we go. There we go. No, they don't. They have a USB port.
Hey!
That smile and hair reminds me of something. She's like Oscar, but with less reddish hair.